Part 1. In Chapter 1, Rin prepares for the Keiju exam, determined to change her fate. 2 years earlier, her foster parents arranged a marriage for her, but Rin, unwilling to accept that life, convinced tutor Feirik to help her by offering stolen opium. Despite Auntie Fang's opposition and harsh advice on marriage, Rin insisted on pursuing her studies. She worked tirelessly, mastering the Keiju subjects, especially the classics, while battling exhaustion and doubts. On the day of the exam, Rin had pushed herself to the brink, enduring both physical and mental strain, leaving her future hanging on the results. In Chapter 2, Rin arrives at Sinegard Academy, where she meets her guide Toby and encounters the prestigious yet intimidating environment of the school. Tutor Feirik warns her about the hostility she will face as a Southern War orphan. After bidding him a tearful farewell, Rin begins to feel the weight of being an outsider. During registration, she clashes with a student named Neza, who mocks her teacher. Unable to tolerate the insult, Rin punches him, sparking a brief fight before an apprentice intervenes, reminding them that violence is not allowed at the academy. In Chapter 3, Rin begins her classes at Sinegard Academy. Master Yim teaches that Nikan did not win the Second Poppy War, but instead relied on foreign intervention. The students learn about Nikan's military history, including the destruction of Speer. Rin meets Kitai, a clever student who beat Neza in the Keiju exam. The students experience a mysterious lore class where no teacher appears, and they discover a garden filled with poppy plants. While the others leave, Rin and Kitai remain, intrigued by the possibility that the lore master may be teaching something unusual involving drugs. In Chapter 4, Rin's rivalry with Neza escalates, leading to a brutal sparring match where Neza viciously attacks her, disregarding the rules. Despite her lack of skill with the staff, Rin fights back and June intervenes, punishing both of them. June humiliates Rin in front of the class, criticizing her lack of talent and discipline and banning her from further training. Meanwhile, discussions about the history of the Speer warriors and Alton's impressive combat abilities continue, heightening Rin's fascination with him. Despite setbacks, Rin remains determined to improve and prove herself at the academy. In Chapter 5, Rin faces despair over her academic struggles at Sinegard, exacerbated by class resentment towards Neza. Her emotional turmoil peaks with her first menstruation, prompting her to undergo a radical procedure to stop her period permanently, sacrificing motherhood for academic success. Determined to prove herself, Rin immerses herself in studies, dedicating countless hours to mastering the Sinegardian dialect and excelling in linguistics where she surpasses Neza. As she competes fiercely with classmates, Rin's craving for praise drives her, leading her to unconventional strategies in class discussions. Despite setbacks in martial arts, she secretly studies combat techniques, determined to succeed. In Chapter 6, winter envelops Sinegard, forcing Rin to train alone until Master Jiang arrives. After learning about Rin's expulsion from June's class, he offers to teach her martial arts, revealing his past with the Chica division. Jiang's unconventional training methods involve carrying a piglet named Sunzi and sparring sessions that challenge Rin physically and mentally. Despite her initial reluctance, she begins to appreciate Jiang's lessons on balance and reflexes. However, after learning Sunzi will be butchered, Rin struggles with mixed emotions. Jiang urges her to pledge lore, but Rin remains focused on becoming a soldier, valuing a future with Irya. In Chapter 7, Rin trains for the trials and impresses the masters during the combat tournament. She defeats Han and Venka, advancing to face Neza. Their fight turns brutal, but Rin wins after overpowering him in a violent struggle. Afterward, Rin is overwhelmed by an uncontrollable power, forcing her to seek out Jiang for help. He cools her rage using a mysterious technique. Rin wins the tournament, but feels uneasy about her power. Jiang hesitantly agrees to train her as his apprentice, seeing her potential. Rin pledges lore over strategy, beginning a new path under Jiang's guidance. Part 2. In Chapter 10, Tyr, commander of the Chica, infiltrates the Ryohei ship but is shocked when Empress Su Daji arrives and kills him with her hypnotic power, leading to chaos across the spirit realm. The seer predicts war, leaving Altan as the new commander. Tensions escalate when a border skirmish occurs, and the Federation of Mugen demands the return of a missing soldier. When the Empress refuses, the Federation declares war. As Sinegard prepares for invasion, Rin and Kite assist with evacuations, facing bureaucratic obstacles.